singing your heart out and seeing that chair turn. And, that was one of my life goals. So yeah, I'm not even nervous. I was scared. Like I was like convinced I was going to die. Like I was
Oh
like,
my
as if
God.
you're like, when you're like waiting to go into like a haunted
Ah,
house and you're
mm.
like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It's going to be okay. Like it's not real. Like that's kind of almost the mentality I went into to like the response to that performance was insane,
It
and
was like
like,
people were disheartened that they let you go after that performance. Like truly, they were like rooting for you so much. But yeah.
oh, there were people that were like, after this, I was like, oh, he could win it. And then you went home. First day after Blinds, I was out doing a collab with like a restaurant that had like a voice milkshake. They're
Mm.
called Black Tap.
All right.
And I went in, I took pictures with the milkshake, and I was like, "Ooh, this is so cool." And then I walked out on the street, and someone was like, "You're Dan from The Voice," and I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Oh my
like,
God.
is this going to be a thing?" And now, like, even up until last weekend, I was at a hotel, and at the hotel breakfast, this woman was like, "I know you. You're from The Voice," and I was like,
Oh my God.
"Oh my gosh, you want a waffle?" Like it's like
That's
you
such a
never
great
really get used to it,
response.
but
And let me tell you, you look gorgeous, just like all those gorgeous outfits you have on your Instagram.
thank you.
No, I mean, seriously, I couldn't help but notice how each outfit that you wore throughout your performance, it just complemented the very song you sang and all the performance that you did over there. So just beautiful, beautiful as always. Okay, so
Thank you.
okay, so
The wardrobe team on The Voice is really top notch. They take good care of us.
okay, that's great. That's great.
And
Yeah.
I got to keep everything, so I'm looking at my outfits
Whoa,
right over
it's
there.
just like how they did with Legally Blonde, like amazing. To keep all the outfits you wore, that's the best thing that could happen out there.
Literally, and the shoes.
Crazy. That's amazing. That's really one of the best things to be on that show. Okay, so Dan, like, tell us about your music journey so far. When did you discover that this is your talent, and when did you decide that you have to pursue this professionally?
I was around like 12 or 13 years old, and I played in my school band.
Hmm.
I played the saxophone,
Okay.
and the fellow saxophone player next to me didn't know we were playing Rockin' Robin by the Jackson
Okay.
Five,
All
which
right.
is one of my favorite songs. And he didn't know it. And my
Hmm.
teacher could tell by the way that I was like really kind of getting into
You
it
were
that I
totally
knew it.
into the song.
Exactly, exactly. She was like, "Oh, you know this." She's like, "Can you hum, the feel of the song
Um,
into Donovan's ear so he can play it?"
okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, he rocks in a Judah." And she was like, "Wait, I think you can sing." She's
Hmm.
like, "Come outside for a second." And I went into her office, and she was like, "Sing that song for me." It was like out of a movie. And
Okay.
she was like, "No, you're meant to be a singer." And then she really kind of pulled me out of the band and gave me the chance to like when the band would play, I would sing and like really kind of push me to
Okay, so
to
you started
embrace
as
my
a solo
voice.
singer in your band back in school.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you discovered your talent when you were 12 years old, when your teacher found out that, apart from humming the song beautifully, you can also sing it so well. Great, great. That's awesome. So, like, when did you decide that you have to be,
Music, but
when you
yeah.
did decide that you have to be a professional songwriter and singer, take this direction professionally?
Yeah, so I actually studied musical theater and like
Okay.
Broadway music for
Hmm.
many years, which has been helpful not being scared performing on such big stages. Um, but theater never felt like a perfect fit. And then
Hmm.
I actually worked for a cruise ship company in
Oh,
Germany.
as a performer.
Yeah, yeah, as a performer on the boats.
Okay, so you used to
And
perform for the like all the audience and all the people over there. That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing. So they have the performance night. So you used to be one of the performers there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. Okay,
And
okay.
I performed we went to, I think, 30 countries, and I worked for them for about 2 years.
Hmm.
And when I was on the boat, I was going through a heartbreak. And one of my
Oh,
friends was like, "You should write a song about what
okay.
you're feeling."
Hmm.
And I wrote my first song, and my manager let
Hmm.
me perform those songs on the ship.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
amazing.
yeah, so I really owe a lot to this company.
Okay, so the
But
ship cruise company.
yeah, Aida Cruises, they really changed my life. But
Great.
once I was on stage singing originals and covers and just
Hmm.
performing as Dan, not anyone else, I was like, it was like the biggest light bulb moment of like,
Okay, this is
oh,
what
I've
I'm
done,
supposed to do.
yeah, like I've been performing for years, but it was
Mm.
like this is what I really like. This is what I did when I was a kid in my bedroom. I pretended it was
Okay.
just me on stage singing to
Yeah,
a big arena, and it was like
definitely. Yeah.
I got to do it. Yeah.
So, from a bathroom singer, you were out there performing on stage, the song that you wrote for yourself. That's great. That's great. Okay. Okay, so like how was your experience in The Voice? Like from the day you were supposed to audition till the auditioning, and especially when the judges turned their chairs for you. So, tell us everything about it.
I mean, I say it was like the best and like the scariest day of my entire life. Like, people are always like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like,
Hmm.
"Nervous is not even a big enough word
Okay,
for
it's an
what I felt."
understatement.
It's understatement. And like I said, I've been performing theater, cruise ships,
Hmm.
every type of band you can think of for
Hmm.
10 years. So I really felt like I was ready to like, like nothing can rock me. I can handle this. But once you're in that moment, like you
Hmm.
really are just aware of how high the stakes are
True.
and how this, my life has changed now. And I knew in
Yeah,
that moment, this is going to change the course of my life. So it's
true.
like, you're grateful, hundreds of thousands of people audition for The Voice. So you are grateful just to make
Be
it
selected
to the
and to be
blind,
there to perform in front of the judges.
but you want that chair turn, and like I have been watching The Voice since the first season.
True.
Um, and there is something so magical I always thought about singing your heart out and seeing that chair turn. And, that was one of my life goals. So yeah, I'm not even nervous. I was scared. Like I was like convinced I was gonna die. Like I was
Oh
like,
my
as if
God.
you're like, when you're like waiting to go into like a haunted
Ah,
house and you're
mm,
like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It's gonna be okay. Like it's not real. Like that's kind of almost the mentality I went into to like, you know. But yeah, right before I remember just looking around right before those doors opened, and I just started laughing because I was like, my nerves were so shot that at this point I was like, look what you're about to do. Like you made it. No matter what
you have
happens,
come
like
all the way here.
yeah. And something about it just made me laugh. And I was like, this is
There's
so
nothing
silly.
that
This
you
is
have
out
to
of
lose, but just a great experience to gain.
so I kind of remind one of my favorite artists, Shoshana Bean, always says, nothing to
Hmm,
prove, everything to share. And I
true.
always remind myself of that. I don't have to prove anything. I just need to
Hmm,
share. And then, yeah, the blind audition moment, again,
hmm,
it felt like out of a movie. High Hopes
hmm.
is that song captured everything I felt in that moment. So I was obviously really emotional during the song too, because you're like, it just felt,
Hmm.
all those lyrics were exactly how I felt in that moment,
Okay.
and I never expected Michael to turn as quick as he did. I didn't expect anyone because I knew I had all those big high notes at the end. So I was like, in my head, I was like, don't be discouraged if it takes some time. And then when Michael turned so quick, I just was like, oh, my brain just kept going, like, keep going, but
Yeah.
also like, you did
Okay,
it.
let me
Like,
register this. What has just happened?
right, right. There's a moment, my friend Paige, who is on Team Kelsey, she always says her favorite moment is that I like kind of giggle at one point in the middle of it. And she's like, you can see in your face that you register, like, oh,
Okay,
I'm on the
Michael
show.
has
I did
turned
it.
his chair. Now, am I
Yeah.
supposed to just keep
Like,
singing or just laugh around and be happy?
right. I'm like, well, it's done now, like the stakes, who's care about all those big high notes coming,
Oh,
because
great, great.
we even said to each other backstage too. It's like, obviously, I
Hmm,
really want to work with Kelsey, and everyone has
hmm,
coaches they want to work with, but
hmm,
we're always reminding each other, you just need one chair. Like one
hmm.
chair turns, not two, one, and you're on the show.
True.
So
Like, I saw your mesmerizing performance of The Impossible. This is the one that you have tagged on your Instagram profile. And the comments over there, like, you have literally people saying that the song performance made them cry. And like the way you song that, like you sang that song by Chantel, it was so beautiful. So tell us about like how did the preparation for that song go? How did you choose that this is the one that you want to perform?
thank you, thank you. Again, I was looking through a list of songs
Mm,
and I saw it and I love like when people do the slowed down version of Dancing on
mm,
My Own by Robin. I love like an iconic 2000s pop song, Slowed Down. And
mm.
when I saw the Chantel was on the list, I remember that James Arthur
James
did it
Arthur has
on,
performed this, yeah.
was it on X Factor or Britain's Got Talent?
I do not really recall, but I remember James Arthur performing it before.
He won, and now he's amazing. I love James Arthur.
True.
Um, I remember his version of it, and I was like, oh, I just saw it, and I think after High Hopes and Good Luck, Babe, I love getting to do these big anthemic kind of pop music. I really wanted to make sure I got to show that other side of me on the show. And I just, in that arrangement, I knew I could show everything, the kind of quiet beginning, the really
Mm,
emotional part, and then just a big give everything you got ending. And a lot of that came from Kelsey. She really was encouraging me to
mm.
let the beginning be so simple, and then in that bridge section, whatever I'm feeling emotionally, like, we talked about her song Penthouse, and like have that moment of letting your emotions take over. And then
Mm.
she was like, at that last part, I want you to leave like with the gas tank on empty, like give it everything you have. And that kind of permission from her to do me and do exactly what I wanted to do, I think really let me just, do my thing.
Be
So
Dan there. Just be
yeah, 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 yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Or like Hulk out, like Dan Hulk, whatever Michael Bublé said.
How's your life been after The Voice, Dan? Like, how differently do people recognize you? How do your fans approach to you? Like, professionally, career-wise, how differently has it been?
I mean, it has been crazy. I think especially the fact that Impossible, I feel like was this amazing moment, but then I also left the show after that moment. I think it really, I mean, said in the comments, like it's the response to that performance was insane,
It
and
was like
like,
people were disheartened that they let you go after that performance. Like, truly, they were like rooting for you so much. But yeah,
oh, there were people that were like, after this, I was like, oh, he could win it, and then you went home. So it was
yeah,
like getting that, the internet can be a scary place,
it
and
truly is.
and I've been grateful for the reception I've gotten throughout this whole
Hmm.
experience, but especially I was talking to my therapist yesterday. I was like, I feel
Oh,
like after Impossible, I feel like there is this whole wave of a community now who is invested in me and in my dreams and seeing what I do
who are
next. And
rooting for
that's,
you to be a
yeah,
bigger star in future, who are looking up to your
yeah. And that's so
performances
cool,
coming up. People are
Yeah. So I think,
associated with you.
yeah, it's really cool. And everyone, I'll go, I'd love to go live and talk to the new
Hmm.
fans. And they're like, don't forget us. And I'm like, I won't. Like, it's so cool that I'm like, when I went live on Instagram a year ago, it was
Hmm.
my mom watching, and now there's
Oh,
hundreds of people who
truly.
care. You know what I mean? But
There are like almost
yeah,
a thousand comments on your impossible post, and people are really speaking their hearts out. Like I read the comments, and I'm like, they're really sad that you're not part of the show anymore. And
I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I was like, I'm always trying to be like, I'm so sorry, but don't worry, I'm so happy. Like, even when I left that day, obviously getting Kelsey's number was a great,
hmm,
and it showed how much she believed in me and cared about me, and that was a really cool
hmm,
way to go out. But yeah, the comments, I've gotten so many messages, like still to this day, weeks after it aired,
hmm,
about that performance and
hmm,
about it just has been so cool. Two things. I think
hmm.
one, Kelsey Ballerini has some incredible, incredible fans,
True,
and
she does.
they really ride for Team Kelsey. So a
Hmm.
lot of my new fan base is Kelsey fans, which is really, really cool. Um, and yeah, I have been recognized in public quite
Oh
a
my
bit, which
gosh.
is crazy. Like,
People
I
are
mean,
hovering around you asking for selfies, like, hey, it's Dan. We need to
yes,
get a
yeah.
selfie with
I'm
you.
like, the first day after Blinds, I was out doing a collab with like a restaurant that had like a voice milkshake. They're
Hmm.
called Black Tap.
All right.
And I went in, I took pictures with the milkshake, and I was like, "Ooh, this is so cool." And then I walked out on the street, and someone was like, "You're Dan from The Voice," and I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh my
Like,
God.
is this going to be a thing?" And now, like, even up until last weekend, I was at a hotel, and at the hotel breakfast, this woman was like, "I know you. You're from The Voice," and I was like,
Oh my God.
"Oh my gosh, you want a waffle?" Like it's like
That's
you
such a
never
great
really get used to it,
response.
but and it's so funny to them because they're like, "Oh, you made my day," and I'm like, "No, you made my day,"
No,
because then
truly, truly, yeah.
I was at the train station last week, and a woman was like, I mean, freaking out. She was like, "I knew it was you." Like we took pictures, we took a video, and as I was walking away, I heard her being like, "You made my day. I knew it was him." And then, I call my mom and I'm like, guess what happened? Like, it makes my day,
Truly,
So
I mean, when you have
yeah.
such lovely people recognizing you in your daily work and your random day, definitely it makes your day. And it definitely makes their day. They finding out one of their favorite artists. And I think she has must have been the happiest that day after finding you. That must have been crazy good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it means that your life has changed significantly after you made your performance appearance at The Voice.
Yeah, definitely. And just the doors that it's open. I have a
You have
lot
greater
of
opportunities to look up to now.
oh my gosh, yeah. And even like my next few months are just filled with like
Oh,
all the
completely. Your
cool
schedule
like
is completely packed.
yeah, just really cool things that like you know, like opportunities that I know I wouldn't have been able to get
Hmm.
without being able to
Being
get
at the
that
voice
platform and
there.
being seen,
Hmm.
by millions of people. So I'm very grateful. Yeah.
So you have any such music collaborations coming up that your fans must be looking forward to?
Yes, I have and
Okay.
two original songs coming out very soon. Um,
Amazing.
one is actually very similar to Impossible
Hmm.
vibes that I wrote over a year ago, but I'm finally going to put that out
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
summer. And yeah, I have a lot of exciting concerts and festivals and appearances coming up. So just cool stuff that I'm just grateful the voice has helped bring my way. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. Like, and totally excited to look up to your new song and all those live performances that you must be happening. Okay, so like I have to talk about this that what are the greatest advices that you took away with you after being on the Voice? Because you had such great judges. They all have been incredibly experienced throughout the with the music music performance journey and being as a singer. So what are the advices that you took with yourself that you have implemented in your life now?
To be honest, the best gift that I got from it is it really was validation, which I feel like as artists and humans, they say,
Really
you're
seek
supposed to
up to,
just
yeah.
yeah, you're not supposed to seek it, you're supposed to just know it, but like those coaches saw things in me that I never even said out loud to my mom or my best friend, like
True.
the things that I could be doing or should be doing, like having Adam Levine saying, I see you on stadium stages, and
Oh,
Kelsey saying, like, you're going to be the one in a few years. We all say, look what Dan's doing, like, and just little things about my voice and who I am as a performer for them to see it and like almost mirror back to me what as an artist, you have to have a little bit of like Delulu, where you're like, you have to
true.
kind of believe
That's
you're a
how
pop
you
star.
perform your best. You need to
Yeah.
believe that you are the best out there.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw an interview with Kelsey. She was saying her last tour, it was her big stadium. And they were like, how did you take on these huge arenas? And she was like, it's a little bit of Hannah Montana. You have to kind of like put this thing on. And I
Believe that,
think,
yeah.
yeah, and I think I always kind of had that thing in my head where I'm like, yeah, I think this thing I do is really cool. And I think the way I do this is really special. And then to have four of the biggest stars in the world be like, wow, that's really special. That's really cool. That to me was the greatest gift I ever got because it gave me a sense of self and confidence that it is really life changing.
What are your plans right now? What are you looking forward to on your personal life and your professional life? How are you looking up to now?
Yeah, now I'm starting to prep. So I'm very busy for Pride season, which is very exciting.
True, yeah.
I
Coming
am
up.
headlining my hometown Pride Festival, which is very exciting. I've never gotten to play such a big festival. The
Hmm.
other headliners are from RuPaul's Drag Race, and
Hmm.
it's exciting to get those opportunities. And yeah, I have a lot of not quite things I can announce yet, but a lot of, I'm doing my first national anthem in a stadium. I'm
That's
doing
amazing.
a lot of like fly to this place to sing Impossible for some fancy people, like cool things like that. I'm just
Yeah.
very excited. I'm
All
clearly very
those
excited,
things
but
that a
yeah,
young 12-year-old Dan must have dreamed of is just coming true right now.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
That is
So
so
yeah,
beautiful, Dan. I mean, and it was honestly so great talking to you. All these lovely experiences that you shared. You look amazing with your eyes, makeup, nails, everything is so beautiful. And yeah, I mean, I do not really follow a lot of singers around, but when I got to know that I'm interviewing you, I went around, looked at your Instagram, and I was like, completely odd. Like seriously, I have to say that. Like that's so beautiful. The way he has sang and the way he just puts his emotions out there. That's very beautiful. And it was so lovely talking to you, Dan. And I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. I'm looking forward to them whenever they're there. I'll be listening to them for sure, asking other people to do so. And yeah, it's been great, Dan. Okay, so
Everyone, thank you.
thank you. Okay, bye. Take care.